All right, so I got to be quick so I don't run out of iPhone storage, man. I need to clean my iPhone out. But I'm on my way to tour the Lions training camp facility. Was invited by a season ticket holder. I am not yet a season ticket holder. I missed out by 2 days. I am on the wait list. Myself and this other gentleman was on the wait list, and he managed to get tickets. I missed out by 2 days, but that's okay because everything happens the way it's supposed to, right? But I wanted to have a conversation about memberships and whether or not you should turn them on. When is the right time to turn them on? I might have talked about this before, but I'll talk about it in more detail this particular video. But I have memberships eligible on this channel here, but I am not going to turn them on. I don't know if and when I'll turn them on. We could see, but right now I'm not going to turn them on. I'm going to tell you why, because when I turn them on, I want to make sure I can dedicate the time and the resources in order to fulfill my obligation. If somebody is paying me to have special perks, I want to make sure I can provide those perks for them. But what about you? Should you turn on memberships? Well, one thing, when you decide whether you should turn them on or not, it really depends on, you have to take your time, figure out a tier that you want, figure out the price point, because once you pick a price, you cannot change it. You can change and remove the different things in the tier. You cannot change the tier or the price until you delete. You would have to delete that entire tier in order to change the price. You might be able to change the name of the tier, but you cannot change the price. So once you set on the price, make sure you know what you're doing, where you want to go. Don't forget about the cut that YouTube takes. But when you're deciding, you also have to consider about your obligation to your supporters. And one thing that you want to remember is you never, ever, ever want to take anything away. So you don't want to have something that you're doing now that you all of a sudden put behind a paywall. What you're going to do instead is you would add something new. So let's say you're doing a show. Let's say you don't do live streams. You don't do live streams at all. And now you're going to start. You could put those live streams behind a paywall, but you can do the thing about live streams and videos and everything YouTube will give you members only lives, members only videos and things like that. But you never want to have a series that you take away and you all of a sudden put behind a paywall. You would want to add to whatever you're doing, right? So you don't want to do that. The most important part is the commitment that you have, right? So if you don't want to start something that you can't finish. I made that mistake, and I want to tell you about the good and the bad and what I've learned. So when memberships were first launched, you had to have 30,000 subscribers to be eligible. And if you were a gaming channel, you only needed 1,000. But right around COVID, it might have been because of COVID, it was probably March, April 2020, all of a sudden the requirements for memberships dramatically decreased. It's like, I don't even know what it is now, but it seems like everybody is eligible to have memberships. You go turn them on, you got to go through the tiers and all that stuff and then submit them for YouTube approval. But I made the mistake of, I was so excited, I bit off more than I can chew. And I wind up not being able to fulfill my side of the obligation. So I wind up deleting those. I turned off memberships in its entirety. But what I've learned and what I've taken over to the new channel is to start slow, right? Start small and keep everything basically what I just told you. Don't take anything away to add something. So for instance, my first tier is the bare minimum. It's the bare minimum, basically where I don't have to do anything. You get priority to live comments and all this other stuff, but I don't have to do anything. That's the lowest tier. Then the second tier, I have 3 tiers. And then the third tier is the one that I really have to go hard at. So I'll for instance, the third tier, they get credits on every one of my videos. So I have an end screen where all of their names are mentioned, and their names are mentioned until they cancel their membership. Then I remove their names. I update the list once a month. But what I've learned is start slow. Don't take on more than you can chew, because what you got to realize is this. If somebody becomes a member, it is more likely that they're just trying to support you, go the extra mile to support you. It's not necessarily that they even want the member perks, right? You get stuff by default. You get member badges. You get emojis that you can make for only members to use. And when they're on their cell phone, you know how you go to the emojis tab, you have where you can actually put emojis that you design. So where the person will be able to use, like you use the laughy face, you can use a personal created emoji that you created yourself for strictly your members. So they're trying to support you more than they're looking for perks. Perks are great. I'm not saying don't offer any, because you have to offer, and I'm not saying offer and don't live up to them. I'm saying they're not going to trip if you offer perks and don't fulfill every last one. I mean, that's your ultimate goal, but they're just trying to go the extra mile to support. The member badges, the fact that their name comes in green if you're on a cell phone. So they get automatic perks. They get a green name on the cell phone, so it stands out that they're a member. They get a loyalty badge. Now, by default, it's like these measly wax stars, but I would take my time and go and create something. You guys can use Canva. You can have the measurements for how to do that so that they can do. So every time they comment, it'll tell, you know, what member they are, what level member they are. It doesn't tell what perk, like what tier, but it'll tell you what month. That's what I should have said, what month they are. So you have new member, you have 1 month, you have 2 months, you have 6, you have 12, you have 24, 36, 48. When I first turned on memberships on my original channel, you only had 2 years. So I wouldn't be surprised if eventually YouTube makes it like 10 years or something like that. So I have 150 plus members on my other channel. It's something I don't really push, but I'm actually going to start pushing that. And I'm coming out with merchandise on July 1st, and I'll probably add a perk to the highest tier where they get a discount off every purchase. Every merchandise purchase, they get a discount. So remember, the key things to remember is do not turn them on before you're ready. Make sure you at least personalize something. Don't have the default creator badges. That's lazy. Don't do that. And don't bite off more than you can chew, because remember, they're trying to support you more than necessarily looking for the perks. And please, please, please do not remove anything that you're already doing in favor of memberships. Never do that. Just create something new. Before you launch, create something new, right? Think of a new show, a new segment. It could be a number of things, but never ever take something and put it behind a paywall because it makes you look greedy. It makes you look greedy. All right. So don't do that. You guys got any questions on memberships and other things like that, leave it in the comments below, and I'll catch you in the next video.